Delhi JK Part 3. Delhi JK Part 3. The Tughlaq Dynasty. After a brief period of instability following the death of Alauddin Ghayasuddin Tughlaq, the governor of Punjab occupied the Delhi throne. In 1320, just after taking over the reign of power, Ghayasuddin decided to lay the foundation of a fortified town called Tughlaqabad. It was located 5 miles due east of the city in a highly defensive position on the edge of rocky hills, which stretch from Badalpur to Faridabad. His main palace, all traces of which are now lost, is said to have been built of guided bricks, which used to shine so brilliantly in the sun that none could gaze steadily upon it. The Sultan's death is ascribed to the complicity of Prince Juna Khan, who later ascended the throne as the Muhammad bin Tughlaq 1325 to 51. The wise and ancient king Muhammad bin Tughlaq has been described as one of the most accomplished princes and most furious tyrant that ever adorned and or disgraced human nature. He was the author of many grandiose plans such as introduction of token currency. Another such plan was the transfer of Delhi to the Devagiri, renamed Daulatabad, 700 miles away in Deccan, which in his opinion had a more central position. The people of Delhi were reluctant to move. Tughlaq issued a proclamation ordering the resident to leave Delhi within 3 days, and the order was strictly enforced. In spite of the excellent arrangement made by the Sultan for the comfort of the travelers, people of Delhi suffered tremendously. Many died on their way to new capital and many after reaching the destination. As soon as Sultan realized the failure of his project, he ordered the people to leave Daulatabad and return to their homes in Delhi. He even asked the inhabitants of the other cities to move into Delhi to add to its population. But Delhi could only partially be made populous and could not regain its former glory for many years to come. A great builder, Firoz Shah Tughlaq 1351 to 88, who succeeded Muhammad bin Tughlaq, was essentially a man of peace and devoted his energies toward improving a lot of the people. Firoz Shah Tughlaq is worthy of remembrance as the maker of canal from Yamuna to dry countryside, which was located due west of Delhi. In this area, he founded the town as Firozabad. Firozabad founded the town known as Firozabad or Firoz Shah Kotla. His new capital is at a distance about 8 miles due north of Qutub Minar, but it did not mark the transfer of the capital to the new site. Thus, there were two cities flourished at the same time: the old Delhi at Qutub and the new city at Firozabad. After Firoz's death, within 10 years, 5 kings ascended the throne of Delhi, one after the other. The last one of them are Mahmud Tughlaq, 1395 to 1413. His reign lasted for 18 years. Timur's attack. Timur reached Delhi in the first week of December 1398. He was opposed by the forces of Mahmud. The Delhi army fought bravely, but was defeated, and Mahmud fled to Gujarat. To the oppressive conduct of Timur's soldiers, people of the city were forced to offer resistance. Thereupon, Timur ordered a general plunder and massacre, which lasted for several days. Timur also picked up some of the expert artisans of Delhi and sent them to Samarkand to build for him the famous Grand Mosque. After remaining in Delhi for a fortnight, Timur marched back. Timur left Delhi prostrate and bleeding. Trade, commerce, and other signs of material prosperity disappeared. The city was depopulated and ruined. There was scarcity and severe famine in the capital and its suburb. For about 3 months after the departure of the Timur, Delhi virtually remained without inhabitant. The kingdom of Delhi had now shrunk to the dimension of a petty principality, comprising the capital city and a few districts around it. Mahmud returned but was unable to recover his lost territories, and after an ineffectual reign, he died in 1413. His death brought the Tughlaq dynasty to an end. The Sayyid dynasty. The noble of Delhi nominated Daulat Khan, an influential noble, to the throne. But Khizr Khan, the governor of Punjab, who had held Timur and was a Sayyid, drove out Daulat Khan and founded the Sayyid dynasty in May 1414. Khizr Khan maintained the independence of his kingdom against the incursion of kings of Jaunpur and Gujarat, who wanted to annex Delhi. Nothing important happened during the reign of 3 successors: Mubarak Shah 1421-34, Muhammad Shah 1432-45, Alauddin Alam Shah 1445-50. The Lodi dynasty. After the brief rule by the Sayyid dynasty, Valol Lodi, the governor of Punjab, seized Delhi after a coup in 1450 and laid the foundation of Lodi dynasty. He was succeeded by his son Sikandar, 1489 to 1517, who moved his capital to the neighborhood of Agra and built a new city called Sikandrabad. The third and the last of the line, Ibrahim Lodi, 1517 to 26, tried to impose rigorous discipline and strict ceremonial ritual on his peers who resented these restrictions on their liberty and privileges. The tension that followed culminated into a rebellion. This confused state of affairs afforded an opportunity to Babur, a descendant of Timur, to invade India. Ibrahim forces were defeated in the Battle at Panipat 1526, thus ending the rule of Lodi dynasty, and with this the era of Delhi Sultanate also came to an end. The Mughal era. After defeating the last Lodi Sultan, the ambitious and courageous king of Kabul, Jahiruddin Muhammad Babur, entered Delhi in 1526, but he spent most of his time at Agra only. He died in 1530, leaving a large but unstable kingdom, which extended from Kabul in the west to the border of Bengal in the east. His son and successor Humayun 1530-40 and 1555-56 was perplexed about the choice of his capital. He had two cities to choose from, Delhi and Agra. Ultimately, he tried to restore or build a fort called Din Punah on the site of the ancient Indraprastha. The name, however, soon fell into disuse, and the fort came to be known as Purana Kila, which still exists. Sher Shah rule. The reign of Humayun was broken into two parts by an interlude of 15 years. During this period, Sur dynasty was founded by Afghan monarch Sher Shah in 1540. He established his supremacy in the most part of the northern India. The Battle of Chausa in 1539 and Kannauj in 1540 decided against Humayun, who had to take refuge after his defeat. Sher Shah immediately after his accession in 1540 took a step to improve the administration of Delhi. He made addition to the Purana Kila and founded a city which extended from the fort of Kotla Vyavastha to the area around Purana Kila. Sher Shah is, however, remembered by posterity not for building he constructed, but for his contribution in the field of civil administration. After a brief reign of 5 years, the great ruler died. His successors were not up to the mark, and their inability led to their downfall. During this period of violence and anarchy, Delhi suffered terribly. A severe famine broke out, which took a heavy toll of lives in the city. Humayun returned. Humayun, taking advantage of the situation, attacked and regained the throne of India in 1555. Humayun's position was, however, far secure. Hemu, the general of Muhammad Adil Shah, had arrived at Tughlakabad with a huge army. Hemu took possession of the city, assuming the title Raja Vikramaditya. He thus became the first and the only Hindu to occupy the throne of Delhi during the medieval period. However, any decisive battle could be fought. Humayun died after a fall from a steep stair of his library in Purana Kila, and his minor son Akbar was crowned as the Emperor of India in 1556. Akbar's forces, led by his guardian Bairam Khan, met those of Hemu at Panipat. In the battle that ensued, Hemu was defeated. Delhi under Akbar. During Akbar's reign, the city of Delhi formed a part of the Suba of Delhi, comprised 8 sarkars and subdivided into 232 paragims. It extended from Palwal to Ludhiana on one side and Rewari to Kumayu Hills on the and Hisar to Khizrabad on the third. During Akbar reign, Delhi was of secondary importance. Delhi, a ruined city. 50 years of reign of Akbar were followed by the accession of his son Jahangir, who reigned for 22 years, 1605 to 27. Beside Agra, he made his headquarters for some time at Lahore as well. Delhi was one of the 15 provinces under Jahangir, and a Subedar used to be in charge of this area. A bubonic plague broke out during his period. It took a heavy toll of lives in Delhi 1616 to 24. Imperial capital again. The next Mughal ruler Shah Jahan decided to build his city at Delhi. It was to be equipped with a citadel and royal residence. Shahjahanabad, the new city, soon grew around it with a number of fine palaces, but by the nobles and merchants. Shah Jahan also built a famous Jama Masjid. In order to build the wall of his capital, Shah Jahan pulled down what was left at Firozabad and the city of Sher Shah Suri. The famous peacock throne was brought from Agra. It was during Shah Jahan's reign the power of the wealth of Mughal Empire and the splendor of the court reached the zenith. Thus, Delhi became the premier city of India and also important during the whole of Asia. In 1657, Shah Jahan fell ill and was taken to Agra by his elder son Dara Shikoh. Shah Jahan was deposed in 1658 by his third son Aurangzeb, who had emerged triumphant over the struggle for power among the four sons of the emperor. Aurangzeb regime. An event of the reign of Aurangzeb was the execution of Sikh Guruji Tegh Bahadur at Delhi. The trunk of the banyan tree under which Guru Tegh Bahadur was beheaded in 1675 can still be seen within the precinct of Gurudwara Sheeshganj in Chandni Chowk. Delhi maintained its importance during the reign of Aurangzeb, though he spent most of the time in fighting wars against the Marathas and the Kingdom of Deccan. The decline of Mughals. With the death of Aurangzeb in 1797 began the rapid decline of the Mughal Empire. There was a quick succession to the throne for which struggles were unending and during which Delhi suffered much and quite often. Azam Shah, Bahadur Shah, Jahandar Shah, Farrukh Shah and Muhammad Shah became ruler in quick succession during the period of decline. The Maratha onslaught. It was during the reign of Muhammad Shah that Maratha under Peshwa Bajirao came to Delhi and fought a battle. The Mughal rulers at a place near Talkotora. The Maratha were victorious, however, Bajirao did not sack Delhi and retired. Massacre by Nadir Shah. On February 24, 1739, Nadir Shah, the Emperor of Persia, Iran, defeated the Mughal troop at Karnal. Emperor Muhammad Shah surrendered to the invader. The key of fortress, treasury, and storehouse were handed over to Nadir Shah's messenger. Incensed over the killing of his soldiers by the citizens of Delhi, Nadir Shah ordered the slaughter and plundering of the city. By the time Nadir Shah ordered his soldiers to refrain from further slaughters, thousands of people had been killed. Estimates vary from 8,000 to 4 lakh. The streets of Delhi were littered with corpses. A famine also broke out. Nadir Shah then turned his attention to extortion and plunder. Contributions were levied upon all rich and poor, and extorted by every possible means. The famous peacock throne and inalienable Kohinoor diamond were among Nadir's prized possessions before he finally rode out of Delhi on May 16, 1739. The Civil War. Mughal Empire, however, soon recovered from the shock of Nadir's invasion. Muhammad Shah was still occupying the throne. The court rivalries, however, continued unabated. They took a serious turn after the death of Muhammad Shah in 1748. His son and the successor Ahmad Shah ruled for 6 years before Safdar Jung grabbed power. During Safdar Jung rule, the city of Delhi suffered terribly due to the civil war. Safdar Jung invited the Jat ruler Suraj Mal of Bharatpur, who plundered Delhi recklessly. Safdar Jung was ousted from power by Itmad ul Mulk, who requested the Marathas for help. Malhar Rao attacked the imperial camp at Sikandrabad in 1754, crossed the Yamuna and plundered Jaisinghpura. The Maratha were persuaded to desist from taking further action. Ahmad Shah was deposed and Muhammad Azizuddin was raised to the throne as Alamgir II. Invasion of Abdali. Even as Delhi was passing through the turbulent period, the news of arrival of Afghan invader Ahmad Shah Abdali came in 1757. There began an exodus from the capital, and when Abdali reached Delhi, there was no defender or caretaker. Abdali was determined to realize the spoil of war as quickly as possible, and he spared neither the royal family nor the common man. Najib Khan and Rohilla chief was left by Abdali as his chief agent in Delhi. Finding the time to be opportune, the Marathas demanded Chauth, a part of the revenue from the emperor, as they had been getting during the reign of Muhammad Shah and his son. The land areas assigned to them held Alamgir II responsible for the payment. After the emperor reply of inability to meet their demand, the Maratha first siege marched upon Delhi and plundered the area. Najib Khan had no alternative but to surrender unconditionally. Return of Abdali. Ahmad Shah Abdali soon returned in 1760. The Maratha army tried to engage his forces but fell in a battle that was fought at a distance of 10 miles due north of Delhi. The victorious king encamped near Yamuna and appointed Yaqub Ali Khan as Subedar of Delhi in return. The Marathas under Sadasib Bhau reappeared and began a regular siege of the fort. Yaqub Ali Khan had no alternative but to surrender to the fort. Bhau deposed Shah Jahan II and proclaimed Shah Alam as the emperor. It seems that Delhi was destined to fall prey alternatively to Abdali and